Sweat getting practice today?
Sorry?
Is Sweat getting practice today?
No, I'll give you the guys here real quick. Zeitler will be out. It's just rest. Brewer's out. The same thing. Hans is out with the same thing. Sweat will be out. And then those are the four that won't be practicing officially. May manage a guy or two by reps, but other than that, that's those guys that are out.
How's Mullings been since you've gotten the pads on and gotten a little bit of a look at him?
It's been really encouraging. He's looks the part as a big back. He's got really good feet, which, you know, these are things that we're learning about him. He wasn't available in the spring. His feet and his vision in the hole when he's looking to hit certain spots has been really good. So I think this preseason work against other teams and again the preseason games are going to be really important for him. But I've been very pleased with what I've seen so far. Yeah, he's got our ball security on defense. On the positive side would be that we're getting the ball out, we're taking shots on the ball. But yes, he's had too many balls on the ground that have gotten punched out. Some of them have been pretty violent punches, which is good for our football team. But he has to understand that's what playing in the NFL is like. That ball security is critical for all of us. And the attempts on the ball are something that's normal. I mean, you get that in every game you play. So he's got to tighten that up, for lack of a better term.
Jumping ahead a little bit, but what will you get out of the joint practices over the next couple of weeks, maybe that will give you a better indicator of what things you need to work on, what things you're doing well, that maybe you just can't get out here going against yourself?
You just get to see another team, and with that comes another set of schemes on offense, defense, and special teams, so you get to see different looks, different style of play. Both those teams have different things that they do from what we do, which is good. And then you get a chance to see guys compete against another team, and you get to measure a little bit of where you stand. Again, I think those teams are talented teams. I mean, they're both teams that I think are going to be in the playoff race. It's going to be good for us to go against them. And from strictly just a competitive standpoint, that's the thing I'm looking most forward to. Just seeing a different color jersey and different players going up against our guys. And I think it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it very much so.
To what degree are you treating these next 6 days as a game week versus just continuing with training camp stuff?
We'll just continue really our training camp mentality through this probably next 2 weeks. The last week in the preseason against Minnesota, we'll treat a little bit like a game week from a meetings perspective and a prep perspective, but it won't change our practice schedule. So we do it more like a mock week in terms of our meetings, but the practice schedule stays the same. It's the last handful of practices we get in training camp, so we keep it pretty straightforward that way.
Having already been through this number one pick process with Joe Burrow, you're clearly experienced, but do you look at any other experiences or consult with anyone else who went through a similar process with a quarterback?
I think you pay attention to it. You know, I haven't sought any outside counsel with people that have been with those guys, but I've watched it, and I've watched the tape too, and just to watch other rookie quarterbacks in the last couple of years play, see what they did well, where they struggled, see if you can't anticipate maybe a problem or two that we could run into just based on what those games look like. So plenty of research done, plenty of things to look at. And on the flip side, look at where some guys have had success. You know, there's been some rookie quarterbacks that have played well over the last couple of years, and what did they do? What positions did they get put in that allowed them to play well? So all of those things factor in. There's really no stone unturned when it comes to getting a rookie quarterback ready, and there's nowhere I won't look for potential edges or advice or anything like that. So it's been a fun process for sure.
Along those lines, you talked during the draft process about drawing on the experience with Joe. And what do you remember about that experience this time, that year, and maybe how do those things compare? Anything you're doing differently from that experience?
Yeah, the cool thing about, I think I maybe mentioned this before, I can't remember. The cool thing about Joe, when Joe was drafted, is it was COVID. And so all of our meetings were virtual, and so they were all recorded. And so I have every meeting from his first offseason and first training camp sort of at my disposal to review, which was actually pretty helpful because I grew at Joe for 4 years, and he became the player that he is now, which is, you know, arguably one of the top 3 quarterbacks in football. And but he wasn't that as a rookie, and it was good to reflect back and watch and listen and see the things that he struggled with as a young player, things that didn't make sense to him, things that took a little bit more time to understand, what part of the offense was challenging for him. All that stuff has factored into how I've gone about the process with Cam. And my favorite part about it is I see some similarities in their ability to process information, and so it's been fun to sort of compare and contrast where those guys have felt really comfortable, and then where maybe they have some things that aren't quite as easy for them as you would want it to be to start. It's been a cool process for me in general, just to be able to reflect back on that and then see where Cam's at now. I think it's going to be fun to compare as we keep going.
Does having done that the first time give you a sense of confidence or patience when certain things are difficult, certain things aren't quite clicking right the first time?
I think so. I think it's a bit of an advantage when it comes to the patience part of it, understanding that it is a process. There is going to be growth. There's going to be struggle. There's going to be bad throws and bad days and bad decisions, and you got to learn from all of them. The urgency is still there to get it to where it needs to be quickly, but I think I have a better perspective having gone through it and understanding what it looks like and what the ups and downs feel like over the course of a training camp, and even the early part of the season as well.
You put such an emphasis on eliminating the mistakes. I know
Yep.
the self-inflicted ones. When you see a practice like yesterday, is that concerning? Is it just a reminder?
Yeah, it's a point of emphasis. Obviously didn't like to see that 2-play penalty stretch in the top of the red zone. Something I highlighted with the team. Not at all what we want. Those are penalties in the red zone are point killers. You go backwards in the red zone, you're going to have a much lower chance of scoring touchdowns. So, not pleased with that. We had a flinch on the receiver, jump off sides, and then we had a holding on a drop back that would have been an explosive play. But they got us for a hold, and those are the things that you have to do at a rapid rate. The progress obviously isn't always going to be linear. We're going to have ups and downs, and especially with the NFL officials out here, it's great for us to have them at all these practices because we get real calls, and you understand that it's not subjective and it's not somebody saying that, that was a hold, and they're bickering back and forth about it. No, it's an NFL official telling you they would have called that in a game. So great for us to have that experience. Obviously didn't like the result of that particular drive, but I think overall we've gotten better with the pre-snap process and with our penalty process over camp, and we got to keep it going.
I assume you're tracking that.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to a year ago, it's been much more.
Yeah, we keep track of everything. We have numbers and percentages we try to hit in every practice. Essentially, every practice from a rep standpoint is roughly a game. It's probably between 60 and 80 plays of teamwork, and we track it just like we treat every day almost like a game in a sense of penalties, turnovers, anything that comes that we track. It's up every day. We show it to the unit every day. So we know when we hit our goal for a practice and when we don't, and where we need to be better, and where we're doing a good job. All those things are daily communicated to those guys.
Seems like the first team offense has not really scored a lot of touchdowns in the red zone so far in camp in those periods. Is that an area of concern?
Concern, no. We've been in the high red zone a bunch. Haven't worked down to the low. We got more red zone work today, so actual focused red zone work where we're starting down inside the 12. But yeah, I would like to see more movement in the red zone in the periods that we've had. But we got a lot of work to do in the red zone in general. That's probably one of the harder areas. A lot of our early focus has been on third downs, which has been great. And now we'll shift into the red zone today and get some more work. But yeah, we got work to do there for sure.
Some 11-on-11 special teams work before you face another team?
Yeah. We'll do some. I know Bones has a schedule of how he installs and how he teaches, and we'll get to the 11-on-11 work. A lot of it's been technique driven. It's been really cool to watch him install those things, how they work their combat, how they do those drills for return and coverage units, and then we'll get to the 11-on-11 stuff. All that's sort of the final piece of it all. So yeah, we'll get into that stuff for sure.
Really productive out here. What have you seen from him? Has that been a pleasant surprise in your mind?
I'm familiar with Prochet with his previous years. He's been on rosters and contributed to teams over his career so far. He's really had a nice camp. He's shown up. He's made plays. He's consistently made plays, which I think is the more important part. and he's making a case for himself. And he's got some special teams ability, but he's really shown up offensively. I mean, he's made catches every day. He's gotten himself open. The ball's found him, and it's been really good to see.
Brian, the 9-on-7 period seemed to be new this year. I don't remember you guys doing that last year. What was maybe the reason for maybe having that as part of it this year?
Yeah, 9-on-7's an old drill. We did not do it last year. We did it as it's sort of our opening period of practice. That would paired with the one-on-ones. There's a lot of drills you can't do anymore. It's used to be able to do some half line and pod drills and stuff with the O-line and D-line. So 9-on-7 is just a chance to really focus on combinations, playing blocks. There's no pressures, there's no stunts. It's just line up, play blocks, play straight forward, set your pads, physicality, mentality part of it. It's a great drill, but it's been beneficial for us, I think, in both trenches to be able to open practice with that every day.
When teammates talk about Cam, the first word you usually hear is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
How important do you think that is when he is struggling, things aren't going well, and guys don't see him get rattled?
I think that's an underrated and critical part about playing quarterback in the NFL, because you're always going to have something go wrong. It's just the position, the pressure the position faces, especially when you're a young quarterback that people are counting on. That ability to not get rattled and to not ever dip in your confidence is really what separates guys, I think. And Cam's got a really unique ability to not get flustered, or he never flinches, and he just comes on back and does it again. And that's an important quality for a young player to have, because it's going to be hard. There's no doubt about it. It's a hard position to play. It's a hard position in sports. He's a young player. We have a young team, and he's going to face plenty of adversity, and his mental makeup and ability to handle that and stay confident through struggle, I think, is really important.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.